Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting the man that we wanted. Well, I wanted, to be honest, until all the Enzo Fernandez news sort of came about. This is exciting. This is really exciting. For me, I'm pretty sure for some of you guys as well. Joao Felix, the loan to Chelsea, is starting to look good.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. I've got my glasses on because the glare sometimes gets to my eyes. But firstly, I want to say, look, thank you to each and every one of you guys that has reached out to me post last stream through messages, DMs, WhatsApp, whatever you may have out there in social media. Look, obviously got a bit emotional. Sometimes the state of the club, it just makes me sad, and I'm an emotional guy, so I don't hide my feelings. And it's sometimes very difficult to see where the club is at. And on top of that, obviously that comment. I don't want anyone to bash that particular person. That comment, any other day, probably I don't get upset about. But I guess it was a long day, and the fact that where the club has, is at the moment was a situation that just got the better of my vulnerability, I suppose. So we move, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the latest. Look, Joao Felix, everything is moving nicely on this particular move. David Ornstein, Orny making all of us horny with this particular news. Check this out. Chelsea reached verbal agreement to sign Joao Felix on loan from Atletico Madrid. Fee 11 million euros below initial Atleti ask. I think initially it might have been 15 or 16 million, something like that. Man United plus Arsenal keen. So 23-year-old had choice, and Chelsea project appealed. Thank God the Chelsea project is appealing to Joao Felix. More reinforcements to follow this month. We're going to talk about those more reinforcements very soon. Let's go through the news, and then I'll provide you guys my opinion on it. Fabrizio Romano is also tweeting, so this is serious. Hopefully it would be so good if we can have this player before Fulham, but I don't think so. We're going to have him for Fulham. After Fulham, I'm still happy with that. Chelsea and Atletico Madrid are now completing final details of Joao Felix deal, as Blues want to be fast and get it 100% sealed this week. Full agreement on personal terms, as Joao has accepted Chelsea move. They will cover his full salary until June 30th. So look, we're bearing all the expenses on this particular player. This player, it's a bit strange. He's been playing actually for Atletico Madrid in recent times. So I'm not really sure why. Again, obviously, you can't just make a decision based on the last few weeks. We know his relationship with Diego Simeone hasn't been the best. So maybe all of that still matters. But post World Cup, he's actually been starting for Atletico Madrid. So interesting to see. The other point about this is there is no option to buy or obligation to buy anything like that at the moment. We'll see exactly what goes down in the loan agreement, but right now there's no talks about that, which some fans are a little bit peeved off about it. But I'm thinking, look, let's just concentrate on the next 6 months, then we'll figure out what we want to do with this particular player. Chelsea have moved fast to agree a verbal deal with Atletico Madrid for Joao Felix after late night internal talks where they decided to proceed. This is from Ben Jacobs. As reported, Atleti's loan price dropped from original quote, and CFC expected to pay around 9 million and 100% of Felix's wage, 5.3 million for 6 months, which is quite hefty, but nonetheless, I believe this particular player's quality. As revealed, although CFC would love an option to buy, Atleti's starting position has always been a straight loan, and they are yet to budge on this position. Chelsea, no. Without one of there is less long-term value, but the consensus is short-term needs make a deal worth pursuing. So this is very important. As revealed, although Chelsea would love an option to buy, Atleti's starting position has always been straight loan. So look, right now there is no clause that we can perhaps buy or an obligation to buy, option to buy or obligation to buy. Another suitor could still technically counter if quick, since nothing signed, but very advanced yet. When AFC and Man United currently focused on Workhouse held dialogue. Both made it clear anything above 5 million loan fee was with no option too high. So Man United, they're looking to sell the club. They don't have the money, and Arsenal, for them, they're very staunch. Arsenal, do you know what? I don't mind the way Arsenal operate. They value a particular player and they don't budge on that. They move on to the next target. Obviously, they deem the Joao Felix loan fee is a bit too much. But for me, from a Chelsea point of view, we need help. We need help, and we don't have any grounds to bargain at the moment. And I still believe like the quality of Joao Felix is worth it. Felix is open to joining Chelsea. Chelsea had backed away from signing him, but reprioritized him again in the past 48 hours after 2 losses to Manchester City and talks with Graham Potter. Good. We've reprioritized. Credit to David Ornstein, who was first to call the verbal agreement, and Duncan Castle reported Chelsea reignited the interest first. Now, in regards to this particular transfer, ladies and gentlemen, I like it. I've mentioned this in previous videos. As soon as the Joao Felix talk sort of materialized, I feel like he can potentially play on the left side. He can potentially play up front as a false nine. He can potentially play just behind a striker. I personally would like to see him just play just behind a striker. He could give us that creativity. I know a lot of people will say, well, what creativity has he done at Atletico Madrid? Look, it's not been the best of times, but in purple patches, it's been great. The relationship with Diego Simeone hasn't been great. I'm hoping that relationship with Graham Potter is better. We know the talent is there. I've seen it. We've all seen it. The talent, the vision, the creativity is there. It's just a matter of now, how can we consistently get it out? It's not where, it's not like the Mason Mount or Conor Gallagher situation where, yes, sometimes they create key passes, but you can see they're naturally, it's not natural to them. That instinct is not natural to them. For me, with Joao Felix, the skill set is natural. It's just to hone in on that talent and coach them to provide an environment where they can flourish with that particular talent and be free about that particular talent, where they can use it nonstop. And this is where it comes down to Graham Potter. Hopefully we get this particular player, but we need to create a particular environment where we can play attacking football. And this is what comes down to Graham Potter now. You've got to create a structure. You've got to create a plan, how you want to attack the opposition. There's got to be something. You've got to work so hard in the training ground. But I guess it all comes down to players buying into it. And there's some news that's gone around that some players are not buying into, which we touched on in the last stream. And we'll kind of look at some tweets about this down the track, which potentially we're going to talk about, in the next live stream. But look, for me, ladies and gentlemen, I like this, man. I like this particular move of Joao Felix. I believe he can contribute with goals. I believe he can definitely contribute in terms of the creativity. As I said, I would prefer him playing just behind a striker. Now, whether it be Kai Havertz, whether it be Aubameyang, or whether it even be Marcus Thuram, I seriously would like Chelsea Football Club to still pursue Marcus Thuram, because I think that's a value purchase. Now, let's move on to the next news, ladies and gentlemen. If all goes to plan, Joao Felix will be followed in by even more signings this month. Chelsea are especially keen to revitalize their attack. Further goes on to say, Matt Law, Chelsea ideally want a right back, wide forward, and a midfielder. What have I been saying in the last month or so? We need minimum three transfers: a right back, a midfielder, and an attacker. I've been saying it, and I'm glad to see that Matt Law has come out and said this. Hopefully, this is what we do in the transfer window. Chelsea's move for Joao Felix does not affect Marcus Thuram. Brilliant news. This is what I wanted to see from Fabrizio Romano, because at the end of the day, Joao Felix is a loan. Yes, there's some money involved, but it's not a monstrous amount of money. For 6 months, maybe it is. But hopefully it doesn't bother the Marcus Thuram situation. Marcus Thuram literally has 6 months left in his contract with Borussia Mönchengladbach, and hopefully we can get him for cheap. And I think, him, being 25, probably nearing his peak at the moment, I feel like his player profile will fit the Premier League characteristics. So I don't want us to deter away. I think Marcus Thuram is someone who can play up front. Look, let's be honest. Kai Havertz experiment, it's got to stop. This Kai Havertz stuff up front needs to stop, and I hope Graham Potter stops that. Chelsea still want him. Felix has spoken to Chelsea. Chelsea want it done this week. Brilliant. If we can get Joao Felix and Marcus Thuram done ASAP, excellent stuff. Now, I don't know who this brother is, ladies and gentlemen. You guys help me out. I've seen some little bits of clips and moments of this player on Twitter. Obviously, as soon as a rumor comes about, people are throwing comps left, right, and center. I have no idea who this particular player is. Goes by the name of Nordi Madueke. Breaking the Times understands Chelsea are considering a move for winger Nordi Madueke, another young player, I believe 20-year-old, plays for PSV, right-sided winger, left-footed though. So some people are comparing him with Gareth Bale. Like, I mean, and some are actually even providing top-notch opinion on the player, like they actually watch him. Look, maybe they do, but I don't know. It seems like every rumor out there, as soon as it drops, everyone becomes an expert on that particular player. Look, me, I don't know. You got to help me out, ladies and gentlemen, what you know about this player. The Times understands Chelsea are still in talks to sign Enzo Fernandez. Look, I would literally lose my mind if we can still get Enzo Fernandez, but I think this move is slowly dying as every day sort of goes by. Let's not hold our breath on that. Christopher Vivell from joined from Red Bull Leipzig, and Paul Winstanley, who joined from Brighton, are actively working on improvements to Chelsea's squad. So good to see all of that. Fantastic news. But as I said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about this particular player, because I've got no idea. Now, check this out. Todd Boehly has stood down as interim sporting director. Thank you so much, Todd Boehly, for doing that, because, brother, this is a bit beyond you. Take a step back and let some of these experts do the job and let's see what they're capable of doing. And has handed the bulk of the transfer responsibility to new recruits, Christopher Vivell and Paul Winstanley. Fantastic. This is from Matt Law. So there is definitely some truth behind it. Right back, Chelsea have the tough task to face of trying to convince the players of the required quality to come in and fill in for Reece James. So look, we need a right back. Find a right back. Hopefully, Paul Winstanley and Christopher Vivell can do the trick. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Winstanley and Vivell are set to be joined by Lawrence Stewart and Joe Shields next month. I always get these brothers' name wrong. Lawrence Stewart, okay? Joined by, so Paul Winstanley and Vivell will be joined by Lawrence Stewart and Joe Shields next month. They'll lead Chelsea's transfer strategy also beyond this transfer window. Boehly will still be involved in spending. Good, we need to spend a little bit more. And next up, these news about, understand there is concerns behind the scenes about players not buying into. Look, we're going to touch on this tomorrow in the live stream, quite a little bit to go through. This is pretty much what I said in my previous live stream, that there has to be some concerns and obstacles internally. Graham Potter does not see some players as part of Chelsea's plan. Most are on big salaries. We'll talk about this as well in the live stream. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we get the Joao Felix, deal done ASAP. This is going to give us a little bit of a boost moving forward. Graham Potter needs help. I know a lot of us are not, having the faith on Graham Potter, and I can't tell you guys how you want to feel. I can understand your standpoint. Me as well. At times, I have some doubts as well. Yes, I know that he's done some good work at Brighton, but is this particular job a bit too much? But then again, I understand there's some certain obstacles that he's facing. I do want to give him the opportunity to see some of his players come through in this window, at least people that he's able to bring in. And he has to get rid of some of these players. If we get in Joao Felix, get rid of Ziyech or Pulisic. I think recently there's been some reports that if we are able to bring in a winger, which Joao Felix is, but he's another one of those Nkunku type who can play anywhere up front, right? Hopefully we can get rid of someone. If we bring in Joao Felix, get rid of someone. I know we've got some injuries, but I still would like to see certain players moved on. We need to ensure it's not just Joao Felix. We have to bring in some other players to bolster this team and give this team some quality. Joao Felix is fantastic. Need Marcus Thuram up front, someone that Joao Felix can link up with. We need a midfielder, someone who's going to link up with Joao Felix and Marcus Thuram and the defense, and definitely a right back. Definitely right back. Once all of this sort of falls into place, then it's up to Graham Potter to start turning this around. He's going to have the remainder of the season to really push hard. We're out of all club, domestic competition. Focus on the Premier League. Work hard on the training ground and see how far we can go in the Champions League as well. But yes, very important to bring in some players. But as I said, very important to get rid of some players. Hopefully, the new people, the head of recruitment, the sporting directors, technical directors, whatever they are, can do the trick in this January transfer window. We're well and truly into the second week of the January transfer window. We've got to move quick. We've got to move quick. These games are coming thick and fast. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Thank you to each and every one of you guys that have been supporting me since the last stream. It's been an emotional one, but look, I'm an emotional guy and I don't hide my feelings. So I shall see you guys with another live stream tomorrow. No more emotions. Hopefully tomorrow we can talk standard conversations and hear what you guys have to say as well. Until next time, everyone, take care and see ya.